Is that your stomach?
Yes. I have not eaten in a long time.
I understand.
I think yesterday I had 2 drumsticks.
Not ice cream drumsticks.
No, 2. Last night, my roommate, bless his heart, was very worried about me. And he came and he knocked on my door at like 10
He's
o'clock.
like, you're dying.
And he gave me 2 chicken drumsticks on a plate. And I ate them. And I think that's all I ate yesterday.
Sorry, I had to put my shoe back on.
It was very handsome, that shoe. I was checking out your sock.
Oh, yeah? Did you see what it was?
No, I was trying to. Without moving my neck, I was trying to see. Oh, you son of a bitch. You're going to be okay.
The people are all over my... See, now I got to take my
You're
shoe off
going to be
again.
okay. Say the goddamn words. Oh, really? Oh, wow. You got a BINDU part on your fucking foot? Holy shit, man. You fucking rocking the Tarantino socks today?
Now I'm going to have to take a picture of them and post them because I'm not... As we saw, my foot can't make it to the table.
I just got on the little black no-shows today. Man, nothing cool. Dang.
See, Dad, though, should have gotten Nick's.
He wouldn't have eaten it.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Why did you say that, young Maceo?
So what were you going to say about
Nick's
me?
sandwich, bread, chips. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That would be so delicious.
I'm Chris Lujan.
I am called BINDU.
This is the I Ams.
So, as you know, well, maybe you didn't know, I was very my father's clone for a long time.
Okay.
Anti-drugs, anti-alcohol. All through my teens.
Mm-hmm.
I did not start smoking marijuana until I was 24 years old.
Okay.
I was going to become a father. I did not want to become a father. I was being forced into it. I had fucking man up.
I mean, people would say, well, he played his part in it too.
Fuck yeah, I did. Fuck yeah.
To cover the people who would say that.
Whatever. The point I'm getting at is I started smoking marijuana around 24 years old, right? And I started revisiting things that I had never really paid attention to. God damn, that mix. Should have never said it. Should have never said it.
Brandon's starving himself right now to look good for his birthday. Am I lying?
No.
So he's eating one meal a day, maybe. For some reason, he thinks that smoking pot is like, I could do this instead of eating.
not as smart. Wasn't well thought out.
I mean, I heard you say it. Well, I'll do this. This'll,
Right.
So you're eating once a day, and sometimes you get so hungry that now you're not hungry, and then you just skip the day, I think. So his stomach over here is screaming.
Yes.
Feed me.
Well, because I eat at 2 p.m. and it's 10 minutes to 2, and I've trained my body. I intermittently fast.
He's lying.
I intermittently fast, and I have to go a long time today because I ate those chicken wings last night at 10.
Well, see, so you say every day you eat it too, but that's why I say you're lying. Not that you're lying.
Right,
but,
right.
I have seen it's like 4:30, my first meal, So.
No, you know what happened? We could talk. Okay, so, all right. The pandemic lockdown happened 2020, right? Jesus Christ. In 2016,
I'm gonna have to insert haunted house doors opening.
hello? Get out.
I fucking snorted. What a dork. Get out. Okay, go ahead. Why are we at the pandemic?
I'll tell you.
Okay, let's go.
2016, this Japanese scientist started this shit where he was starving these fucking mice. Mm-hmm. And at the 16 to 18 hour mark, these mice, after not eating anything, their body would kick into super fucking, let's burn our fat.
Uh-huh.
And it was weird. Not only while that happened, at the 36 hour mark, this weird thing happened.
Of not eating,
only drinking, right? Mm-hmm. This thing called autophagy happened, where the body realized we're not eating anything at all. It started to consume itself and fixing damaged proteins and all other shit. It was taking damaged shit that the body has and repurposing it almost like stem cell shit.
Mm-hmm.
The motherfucker got the Nobel Peace Prize because of it, right? But he got the Nobel Peace Prize during the pandemic. So no one was paying attention to that shit because we were freaking the fuck out. And that's why there's this gigantic group of people intermittently fasting, because a motherfucker won a Nobel Peace Prize about it.
Okay.
If you don't eat for 18 hours, right, your body will burn like you're working out at the gym as hard as you fucking can, right? So it's the lazy way to get healthy. Your body
The lazy way.
Yeah, you don't work out. Your body
I
retrains
guess.
itself how to eat and how to accept food. And so while it does that, it burns your fat and fixes all your damaged proteins and all of that shit. So that's why everyone's doing it.
So that's what he's doing. That's why his stomach is screaming.
Well, I went from 195 to 165 in about 90 days, 3 months. But I did it for my stroke. I have to keep my blood pressure in check.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing, right?
So when you're not eating like this, though, like your blood pressure is still all good?
Super good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so that's why this motherfucker got the Nobel Peace Prize. It fixes a whole lot of things in your fucked up self. And while you're not eating,
Except for your fucked up self.
you start fixing your thought process. Everything starts to fix. But Americans, we don't have to do what we don't want. So we don't. So we do whatever the fuck we want. And what's the smart thing to do? I'm not doing that. Right? And
Sometimes.
That's America all the time. That's America
Okay.
all the time. And I'm keeping to myself in my little monk cave. And I'm smoking my weeds. And I'm
So that's where we started.
controlling
With weed.
my weight
I get it.
and my thoughts and staying away from the world.
Right.
Yeah.
You led me right back to like what we were talking about. Because we sidetracked a whole lot to talk about your stomach rumbling. But you started talking about you smoking weed.
For Star Wars.
What?
Yeah. You didn't let me get there. You never do.
I have been quiet
Yeah.
for quite a while.
No,
Because I'm like,
You segued to my stomach, so we had to go that route. We were going to talk about weed and Star Wars.
all right, go
So
ahead.
we segued to my stomach. But
All right.
when I started smoking marijuana and re-watching Star Wars, that's when I realized, like, holy shit, Obi-Wan Kenobi is Jesus Christ. This was before, I did a 17-page paper on it. This is before episode 1 and 2 and 3 came out. This is before the re-editions came out. This is like 1994, 1995. Right? So there's no Star Wars anything except people writing novels.
Okay.
Right around the Underground Agent 6.
right. Why did you actually do
That's
a
when I started
17-page
smoking
thing?
weed. Yeah.
Just for yourself, I guess, right? There was no school that you were in at that point.
I was still going to LMC.
Oh, okay. So
BBC
you did that
back and
as
forth.
a project? Okay.
So, Star Wars, according to George Lucas, is part 4. It's right in the middle, right? And it's called A New Hope. And it's Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out and bringing Luke into the Jedi world and saving the universe, right?
I'm not saying shit.
Look, the first book of the Bible's 66 books. The first half of the Bible is the New Testament, or the Old Testament, right? The Old Testament doesn't work. God has created something and he doesn't like how it just constantly fails. So the New Testament starts. God puts himself into the body of a human being, right? It's a new hope.
Sure.
Obi-Wan Kenobi comes out of the desert with an old religion to Luke. Luke is the book that tells everybody about Jesus in the Bible, right? He's bringing an old religion out. Right? He has a group of disciples. There's a
Right.
doubting disciple, Han Solo, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi gets betrayed by his greatest disciple, right?
I remember when you used to talk about this all the time.
Right. So Judas, who betrays Jesus, is Anakin, who betrays Obi-Wan, kills fucking Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan sacrifices himself, dies, comes back as a ghost, just like Jesus, tells Luke, right? Luke tells the story of the Jedi, right? It was basically, Star Wars was fucking Jesus coming back, right? And I never, even though I saw Star Wars like a million times, I never thought about it like that until I watched it one time high. And I was like, holy fuck. And that's when I started looking at everything like that. And that's when I realized artists were doing that on purpose. They're throwing in subliminal little hidden messages in all their shit. And so now, you can go on YouTube and you can just find channels that just explicitly point out all the little Easter eggs and all the little sneaky things.
Oh, I've been coming across that with 24 things you missed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
It's just like...
Right. So
most of the time I'm like, I already knew all of this shit.
well, because you're an obsessive, weird psychopath nerd.
About certain things, yeah.
Like me. Yeah. So anyways, once I saw the beauty of marijuana like that, I've been smoking every day nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had some breaks trying to fix my marriage here and there, 6-month breaks or whatever.
Yeah.
Or trying to get a job.
I guess we're talking about weed here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, my history with drugs is acid first, weirdly.
Yeah.
Right? In high school.
That's so crazy. That's cliff diving. How did you get it?
Oh, man.
Go deep into this.
San Francisco? Haight Street.
I think there was a guy at the high school.
Really?
Well, so he says go deep into this, so I guess we're going deep into
Doses.
Because this is one of the things that I wanted you guys to talk about.
Doses.
About the past.
Buds, doses. Okay, well, here we go. This is our drug history, I guess.
Fuck yeah, let's get into it.
I think I got it from people at the high school.
Are you for or against drugs, Chris Lujan?
I guess it depends on the drug, I guess.
Good answer.
And then, there was one time when me and a few people went to... Oh, man, Maceo really wants me to get into it, doesn't
Yes, he does.
Shit, so here's all the stories.
He's an adult, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's probably heard all of these. There was one time when me and a few of I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And so me and two of the people who worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken, who I think they were cousins, and then somebody else, one of my skater bros, that sounded so bad. I never say skater bro. Ugh. One of my skater homies.
I said sesh the other day, and I was like, the second it came out of my mouth, I was like, what the fuck?
You better fucking say that shit, though.
Right. Yeah, okay, skater bros.
Yeah, so my skater homies, we went to Berkeley. I drove them to Berkeley to go score LSD.
Telegraph used to be the
Yeah.
shit.
Boy, has it changed.
There was a street going right up to the University of Cal Berkeley.
I mean, it's still there.
And it was everything you thought the 60s was.
I mean, I think people know what Telegraph is. People know what Haight Street is. Mm-hmm. Telegraph is junior Haight Street, basically.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I guess connected to a college.
But no matter what decade it was, you could always count on a green mohawk on Telegraph.
Yeah. So we went there one time. So two guys I worked with at Kentucky Fried Chicken and one of my skater homies, and basically to go score marijuana, to score LSD, right? And at some point, my skater homie goes around the block, follows. So back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, but back in the day, you would walk up and down Telegraph or Haight Street, and there would be dudes leaning against the wall, and they'd go, buds, doses.
Yeah.
Basically, we've got marijuana, we've got LSD.
But we're talking about a congested ass street with street vendors, and it just smells like incense and weed and piss, and punk rock is happening.
Yeah.
And Comics was the dopest comic book store ever, right there, right next to Fat Slice.
It has moved.
Right.
Yeah.
Down a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
Right. But back then, man, holy fuck.
So he may have followed somebody who said buds doses, right? And so he's gone for quite a while, right? And we're like, where is this dude? And he's just it basically got to the point where it's we need to go home. I need to go to work at KFC. dude, like we don't know where this is pre-cell phone,
Right.
you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
none of that shit. And like, I guess there were pagers.
Yeah, people still had phones with wires. They still had to talk.
Your thing is smoking here.
But, well, that's called evaporation because this is an evaporation machine.
Yeah, but okay.
Green means go. I'm listening.
It's waiting for you to go, I guess. So we were basically like, we have to leave him here. He's been gone for
Too long.
over an hour now,
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Yeah,
like
fuck
no
you.
one could find him, so we had to leave him. And so I remember like the guys, the cousins, they got some LSD from someone else. And you know, like I'm driving us home, like, what the fuck, bro? Like we had to leave, dude. You know, shit, I gotta get to work. And these guys are
Folks
like,
at home don't realize you're an hour away from home.
yeah, pretty much.
Berkeley's an hour away from
45
home.
minutes or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and traffic, 2 hours.
Yeah, so those guys who were more seasoned LSD users, hi mom, hi dad, they were like, oh, this shit's bunk, right? This is no good, right? So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll take a hit. These guys said there's nothing there. Let me just fucking do it. For the hell of it. Rode my skateboard to work. Bro. Now, it's like, I was not a seasoned LSD user. I had used it a couple times. I got so fucking high.
On that skateboard?
Like at work. I just remember being at work and like working the drive-through and just like seeing things that were like there was like this dad and his son. They were in like a pickup truck, and the dad is like, you know, ordering the food. So like I'm dealing with him, like gonna pay him or whatever. And the kid in the passenger seat, Doberman Pinscher. Like I saw him as like the way he was sitting. I was like, this kid is a Doberman Pinscher.
Interesting.
You know.
Interesting.
I remember cleaning the bathroom.
But when you saw him as a Doberman Pinscher, were you instilled with fright, wonder,
No,
awe?
dude was kind of being an asshole to his kid. And so I think I saw the kid, he was like a scared Doberman Pinscher.
Right.
So it wasn't pleasurable really, but that's what I
Right.
saw.
Right, because
This is weird.
you'll pick up on the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm asking how you felt, because you're just brushing over it. And it's like, wait.
Sure.
When I was in LSD, it made me feel shit.
Yeah, I remember cleaning the bathroom and just like, I think
What a terrible thing.
maybe started to have a bad trip.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I'm in the like cramped bathroom
Yep.
and I'm cleaning. I just remember like coming out of there. And do you remember Levi Tilley? He was my manager there. So a high school, you know, same grade as me. He was like, I don't know if he was the manager or he was like assistant manager. Like he was kind of up there in the hierarchy, but he was like a friend of mine. I was in his wedding even. And I remember like walking up to him and I was like, I feel like I'm doing everything wrong today. And like, we're like in the hallway and he's like, well, typically people don't walk around with rolls of toilet paper. Because I'm just like holding toilet paper because I was cleaning the bathroom.
Interesting.
I remember that. I remember that it took me so long to clean the lobby. Like it was
Holy
my job to clean the
shit.
lobby that night. Tom Starbuck came in because he was working there, but he wasn't working there at the time. And he just like hung out with me while I cleaned. I think it took me 2 hours to do
you
a
know
job.
you were dosed?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think it took me 2 hours to do a half-hour job just because I was like taking my time. That's probably what I should do to clean the house. Just take some LSD.
I got some, allegedly.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well, no, because you'll take longer on a.
I got the
But-
very best.
But I think the reason I took longer is because I was doing it well. You know. So what else are we talking about? So on LSD, since that's what we're talking about, that's when I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
Oh my God. On New Year's Eve?
Yeah, see, like I didn't realize this was such a milestone.
When you said that lineup, I know exactly what day.
See, I
I
didn't
know
realize.
exactly what show. Because nobody knew who Pearl Jam was, and nobody really knew who Nirvana was.
Yeah, they were just at the beginning.
They were just-
Well, I mean, like there was already Bleach, but like Nevermind had come out, and this is when they're right on
Right.
the verge of breaking.
But Chili Peppers were still off the mother's milk shit. And the Blood Sugar Sex Magic with that buzz was just happening.
Yeah, that album was out, I think, right?
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
the Give It Away shit, and everyone's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Give It Away, right? And they weren't thinking about, there was Nirvana and Pearl Jam.
Right.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
So I went there with Tom Durbala.
Wow, because I turned down those tickets like a fucking asshole.
See, I didn't realize that this concert was such a milestone for them. I listened to Anthony Kiedis' book, and he talks about that show.
Dude, Rolling Stone magazine talks about that show.
Well, I mean, I was there.
It was a moment in history.
I didn't realize that. I just was one of the guys there. High
on acid. Fantastic.
So yeah, that was probably the highest I've ever been.
Who do you
on
think
acid.
you are?
I am.
God damn it.
We were driving. I don't know how the fuck we
That
got
was the
home.
best story ever.
The fog was like
Holy fuck.
so thick.
You guys were
After the
driving?
show.
Dosed?
I wasn't driving. Tom was driving.
Oh my God.
Tom Durbala. Anyways,
Wow, allegedly.
that's like really the last I remember of LSD.
Oh my God, man.
Except for God. All right, I guess I'll tell this story. Make sure to like and subscribe and join our Discord and Patreon. Check out our links.
Now back to the show. You're about to tell me an acid story because I will tell you about my first acid story.
This is a heroin story.
Really?
Kind of.
Wow.
I think it's hilarious at this point.
Okay.
So I was a big fan of Jane's Addiction, right? They were my shit in 11th or 12th grade, right?
I got caught stealing.
I think I've seen
Once.
them 4 times live, Jane's Addiction.
Wow.
And, you know,
Who's that guitarist on Jane's Addiction?
Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro was a Chili Pepper as well.
I know, for like one album.
Dave Navarro fucked Matty O'Reilly.
Everything.
Dave Navarro is an Eskimo brother with BINDU. That's hilarious. And that means so are you. Anyways, continue. Yeah.
So, I mean, Jane's Addiction were heroin users, right? That was their shit, right? So, this is so weird. I don't know how to tell this story, which angle I should take. I guess I'll tell you through my parents' eyes.
I'm so excited.
So, I had like a big old Perry Farrell poster. Remember those oversized posters?
Of course.
They were like 3.5 feet by 5 feet.
I had a black and white Taxi Driver.
Uh-huh.
I had Jack Nicholson, The Shining.
Yeah.
And I had the Pulp Fiction.
Uh-huh. I have a Royal Tenenbaum, like one of the ones that it actually goes in the rear lighted ones. It's like double-sided. Cool. Anyways, super thick.
Cool.
But
so you got the Jane's Addiction
the
Deluxe.
Perry Farrell one, right? And I think it was like him, and he had his hands like this, and
I remember it.
anyways,
Showing his 6-pack.
yeah.
I remember.
So,
Makeup on his eyes.
I mean, I guess,
Like Batman.
yeah. So there was one day I was in class in high school, right? And I get called to the office, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? And I get into the office, and my parents are there. And so, like, I'm thinking something happened to my brother or my grandparents or something like that, you know? And
A slight panic
yeah,
ensued.
well, concern. Like, I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, like, why are my parents
Right.
at
This is never
First of all, they
good.
should be at work. So, like, why are they here?
Right.
So they were concerned about me and I was the first one at Pittsburgh High School to go crazy hair color. You know, in my skater days, like all of the guys were dyeing their hair plum, but like they wouldn't bleach their hair or anything, right?
I got a picture for you.
Okay.
Where you're like this, and you got this, your hair's a different
Okay.
color, you got glasses on. Bruce, Monica Cataldo, you're at a dance.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, the skater kids who would dye their hair plum, it was just like you would only see it in the sun or something like that. Because like they would already have like dark brown hair, and they put a plum color into it.
I totally fucking remember this.
So I was the guy who had like color crayon red hair, right? So like me being like the first, this is like guys and girls. Like I guess I brought weirdo to Pittsburgh.
You fucking sure did.
So
you fucking sure did.
I mean, I like wore the fucking, like I basically was like, okay, let me dress like Jane's Addiction. Like I had the striped like pants. I had like the Doc Martens that went like over my fucking calf. Like I
just to let everybody know what time period it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking colors. 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 I am a nightmare walking. All that shit was happening at Pittsburgh right at that time.
Yeah.
That's the time that we're talking about.
Yeah. And so I was the one who like, I mean, like, I'm not trying to say like I was the first. But
you
like,
brought
you know,
alternative MTV to fucking Pittsburgh.
I kind of did.
You fuck yeah.
I kind of did. And
then like I was there.
After me, boom, now there's an explosion everywhere of everybody. And I'm not saying I was the first in the world to have crazy hair color, but like at Pitt, I was the first one.
You sure were, and it was a big deal. Trendsetter.
I guess. So
first of all.
So that's why I say like my parents were concerned because I was this like weirdo, I guess. I guess people could look at me that way.
Yep.
I
must be doing drugs.
I must be doing drugs. So they stayed home one day and like went through my shit. Right?
Awesome.
So like
hell yeah.
So I'm in my counsel.
Nothing says trust like violating your fucking
whatever.
bedroom.
I don't care. That honestly didn't bother me. So my counselor, before anything is said, my counselor just goes, just tell him. And my mom starts crying, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
What a trip.
And so I can't remember if my dad said it or if my counselor said it. I honestly don't really remember my mom saying a whole lot. That like, you know, they went through my room and they found needles, right? Hypodermic needles, right?
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh, and I don't know if I started laughing but it was like, oh, I know what they think is happening. They couldn't be more wrong.
Okay.
Right? So like immediately I was like, oh, they're concerned. What they're concerned about, basically like me doing heroin or something that I would have to shoot, was nowhere near the truth. Okay? So why does Chris have hypodermic needles, right? Clean needles, brand new needles that he got from a friend who had diabetes, you know? So it's like, hey, you had, you know. So the reason that I had hypodermic needles is because I was the weirdo, right? And so like we're now my brain is going down the path of piercing.
Right.
And we know
I knew exactly.
Yeah. And so we know
I knew exactly.
From everything that we see, like we were underage, so we couldn't go get a piercing.
Exactly.
And this was
in your own shit.
And this was in the day of
yep.
Your parents are not going to be okay with you getting a weird piercing, like a nose or something like that.
Right.
At the time, which was like weird, you know. So it was like, okay, well, we have to figure this out ourselves. And we had heard that they use hollow needles. Well, what's a hollow needle? A fucking syringe, right? So that's why I had them. And so like at that point, it was...
You're about to get an earring somewhere.
Yeah, like me and Tom Starbuck were like, basically we wanted our nose pierced. I don't
want you hanging out with this Tom Starbuck kid.
Nah, my mom knew his mom, I believe. So like there was no like, I don't want you hanging out with this guy. But yeah, so like I think just like that immediately chilled them out because it's like, oh, you know, like they couldn't have been more wrong. They were probably relieved as fuck.
Fuck yeah, they were.
And so like I remember my counselor, because like my hair came up, you know, and I remember my counselor saying, it's just hair, it's gonna grow, you know, like this is such a minor thing, which is like honestly like forward thinking at that time.
Dude,
You
you
know.
were expressing yourself in the one of the only ways you could.
Yeah. So I think them realizing like, oh my God, he's not doing heroin. Now they know I've done acid. But them realizing I wasn't doing heroin, and then my counselor helping to convince them that like this is just superficial bullshit.
That
don't
counselor
worry
was
about.
so relieved. That counselor was like, "This is an honest to God good fucking kid. Leave him alone. Let him be a good kid."
So-
we thought he was doing heroin.
So I remember like going like okay, meeting adjourned. They're going home, I guess. I don't think they.
You're
went
like,
to work.
"Bye, mom," and then you took the tab acid.
No, it was very close. So this is the part they don't know is like I like on my way back to class took the tabs of acid out of my wallet and tossed them because I was like, I don't need this.
Oh, you tossed them?
I tossed them
Where'd you toss them?
just in a garbage can on the campus.
I'm kidding.
I
we
don't
go get 'em?
I don't think I've done acid since then. You know, like that was kind of. But so yes, that's my acid history. I guess the highlight is Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam.
Would you recommend
Nirvana.
acid as a recreational drug to have fun with?
It's weird because I would want to say yes, because I'd never had a bad experience, right? The worst experience I had is, like I said, being in the bathroom at Kentucky Fried Chicken and all of a sudden like starting to go the wrong way.
That says a whole lot about the inner workings of your head.
I guess.
You're not having a bad trip. You're not
Yeah. And the thing about,
regretful and angry inside.
I guess I never took so much acid either that I would forget that I was on acid. So if I was ever going down a bad road, I was always conscious enough to go like, you're on acid.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I had my first experience with acid was a trip. I was a grown-ass man.
My first time on acid was a trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dun-dun,
You were a
dun-dun,
grown-ass
dun.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing. I also realized...
You can keep going.
No, I also realized that I was hanging out with people... Sorry, Kentucky Fried Chicken co-workers.
And you keep saying that.
I was
so hungry.
I was hanging out with people. I was realizing that I was hanging out with people I truly didn't enjoy hanging around with just to get it.
Oh.
And so like that realization was like, well, this isn't really worth this. You know, not that they were bad guys. They were just outside of my friend group. And the only reason I was really hanging out with them was to go get it. And so like, I realized, well, this doesn't make it worth it. Okay, go ahead. Your first time on acid was a trip.
Yeah. Well, it was given to me as medicine to help. I just went through a terrible tragedy.
Okay.
And it's 2 weeks after.
Never mind.
Right. And this person thought it would be a great idea.
Uh-huh.
And it was.
Okay.
But like in the way ayahuasca is a great idea.
Sure.
Right. And so to explain to people what it was like, I took this piece of paper on my mouth and we put on Alice in Wonderland, the Disney animated version.
Oh, you did the whole thing.
Well, he was telling me we should not do this.
Okay.
So I had a guide, and my guide was all the chakras were inlined.
Okay.
Right. So just like if you were ever going to go to the spirit world, this is the person you want to be with.
You were 26?
28.
Okay.
28, 29, something like that.
Okay, this is the first time you've done acid.
Right.
Okay.
And so I had been smoking marijuana, and that was new to me.
Okay.
And I had done mushrooms. And mushrooms were like, I thought that I knew what psychedelics were.
You had already done mushrooms before you were going to do acid.
Correct.
People think I'm crazy for going straight to acid. But
You are. So I did.
what was available.
I did mushrooms with my wife, and my brothers and my cousin Bruce. Well, he didn't do it, but everybody else did.
Okay.
In his house in Berkeley, in that dope ass
Okay, yeah,
apartment,
the
in
loft.
right, the loft. And it was such a positive and wonderful experience that when now here's acids coming, and I hear it's going to be longer than mushrooms, and so I'm thinking mushrooms, and it's nothing like mushrooms.
I haven't done mushrooms.
Mushrooms is exactly what animated Disneyland Alice in Wonderland is.
Okay.
That's what mushrooms is. It's great. It's a little scary, but then fun, wraps up nice at the end.
See, I think also with LSD, I don't know if I didn't take as much as I should have, or if I forced it to not happen. But I don't think I ever entered some other realm where like I was like, I would see like the wavy shit, but I wouldn't like hallucinate things that weren't there,
I see.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was me fighting it and being like scared to go all the way there. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass.
No, you're not. When you take a Herculean a dose,
Sure.
you can't fight it.
Oh, I did my favorite acid experience that I didn't talk about. This makes me seem crazy. See, like I always just figured like I'm the like guy who has no stories, but like I took
Look at him over here.
I took a half a hit of acid before school.
Wow.
It was a minimum day.
That's Legion, Mike. Legion.
It was a minimum day, so I felt like there's no pressure. We're going to be out of here soon. Right?
Yeah, you're in every class for like 25 minutes.
Yeah. So I took a half a hit of acid, and it was the most, I guess I was microdosing, basically, before it was like, had a name, And it was the chillest day ever.
Cool.
It was fucking perfect,
That's why people do it. Yeah.
And like I took so little, obviously I wasn't going deep to see shit or like whatever, but it just put my mind in such a chill place.
I, excuse me, I received super crazy powerful acid from a chemist from UCLA.
Okay.
And within 15 minutes, I was in another realm.
This is your first time.
Yep.
Okay.
So we put on the Alice in Wonderland cartoon. I'm watching it, and it immediately becomes claymation.
Okay.
Not just the cartoon becomes claymation. Everything is becoming claymation. The whole, I am claymation. And then a snap happens. And from that moment on, every second is a different form of reality in the shape of reality. So you're made out of donuts, you're made out of clay, you're made out of Lego, you're made out of metal, you're made out of rock, but you're always there.
Interesting.
Everything. Non-stop. Holy shit, Akira. Holy shit. It was like that for 18 hours. Non-stop.
18 hours?
Non-stop, no break. It was the ride of my life. Holy fuck.
So was it a bad trip?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
This
good
is your first
and
time.
bad. It was
Well,
so
yeah, because it's so long. You have time to go from good to bad to good to bad to good to bad to good again.
And I had just lost my son.
Right.
I just
I
went
knew the
through this
tragedy.
traumatic thing. And it was fucking insane. Yeah. And so I didn't do acid again for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. It went on so long. At the 14th hour, I was like grinding my teeth.
Sure.
Like, when does
Can't
this
sleep.
stop?
Yeah.
Just
Oh my God, is this who I am from now on?
Right. Intense hallucinations. And this is how it came on. I would feel like a gigantic scoop of ice cream drop on the top of my head, and it would be cold. And it would melt. And as it melted, wherever it melted, if it went over my eyes, that's where the hallucinations would start. And it would go over my ears, and that's how the hallucinations audio would start.
Yeah.
And it would drip down, and you would get through it. Oh my God. Okay, cool. And then right as that happened, the next one would start. And it was a nonstop drip that went
So
on forever.
someone said, here, you should do this. I think it'll be good for you. Was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so long that you can either freak out or become completely and totally control of who you are inside when you have like weird ego death. Yeah. And so you either freak out or you fucking man the fuck up.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened.
Okay.
But anytime you grow like that, there's growing pains. So it was at the time nightmarish with moments of tranquil beauty, right? But that overcoming that did something to me that I felt very proud of. And so I still love doing mushrooms, but it became a magic thing that I would do at a special time.
Right.
And then I was fortunate enough to get the most powerful acid of all time. And I have a collection of it.
Okay.
And so now, like when I lost my father, I used it. And it helped me and it was great. And so, yeah, now it's wonderful. But it's, for me, it still lasts 10, 12, 13 hours.
Yeah, I was 8 hours was what I would typically do.
Yeah. And it's nonstop hallucinations.
No.
Nonstop.
Well, like I said, I didn't get to hallucinations, but everything did this thing, you know.
Cool. Yeah. But it's also a vibe. You'll feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that half a hit was perfect.
Right. And so every time I've done acid since that nightmarish time, it's been that perfect feel, that cool ass feeling. Like, oh, this is awesome. So acid is my favorite shit.
I guess I'll give you my brief pot history.
Yeah.
You know, since that's what we're talking about. So in high school, I barely smoked, right? Because I was, so that guy, Tom Derbala, who I went to the Chili Pepper show with, he smoked. He was like the one person I hung out with that smoked. I mean, I knew other people.
Yeah, same.
I knew other people in high school.
Few times.
Smoked.
Yeah.
But like he was the first person that I was like in a circle with, like me and him would hang out. We'd go to like skate parks and shit like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Cool.
we would get back to his house and smoke. So this is my first real experience smoking.
How old are you?
Probably 17, right? And it
Punk rock.
it did nothing for me.
Yeah.
16 or 17. And so like he was having the time of his life.
Huh.
And he would like go into his bedroom and lay on the bed and whatever. And I would just be there like in the family room because he had his own apartment. And I would just be like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to go home.
You're like
you
the
know?
thing. You have this crazy mental fortitude. Yeah, you can't be broken, man.
So I was like, I guess I'll go home because this is doing nothing for me. The first time I would say I got high,
That's like a superpower.
maybe. The first time I got high was at my senior ball.
Ooh.
So there I was
At the Concord Hilton?
yeah. So there I was high. I was like,
Was your date happy that you were high?
my date and her friend and her friend's boyfriend are the ones who got me high.
Okay.
Right?
Then it's all working.
So yeah, that's the first time I remember like really getting high. But I wasn't like, I never really sought out marijuana like ever, you know? When it became illegal, I was like, oh, like, sure, let me go buy one of these pens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did it for a while and then kind of stopped. And then my son started working at a dispensary,
Cool.
right?
Fuck yeah.
And so every month, they would give him a bag of stuff,
Yeah.
which I gave you a bunch of
Hell
stuff
yeah.
recently.
Hell yeah. It does not go to waste.
So
son.
he was working at a dispensary, and so he would always bring home stuff. And he's a sativa guy, and I'm a hybrid / indica guy. So like whatever, you know, he would give me that. But basically, he brought home these drinks, Wonder, WUNDER.
Okay,
right?
you love them?
I loved those. right?
I'll have to get some.
I don't think they sell them around here anymore.
Dang.
But they were so good.
Damn it.
Right? They put me in the right mind frame, and there was like a certain flavor that I actually liked, which was like a blackberry. It's kind of like a fizzy, like an 8-ounce, those small cans, small thin cans. I really liked those. And so I was drinking those. Those would be my way to do it, right? And then he started, just like I said, he would just have so much flour that I would just like started to smoke because my job sucked and I was trying to escape the job, it got to the point where I would have like mints, like marijuana breath mints that I would just like eat all day at work, because I just fucking hated that place. They got another 1-star review, by the way, Maceo. Another 1-star review on both Yelp and Google. Fuck that place. So I was using it to escape there, and then it just got to the point where it's like, okay, now I just do this.
Severance.
Yeah.
So you started doing edibles and the pens, and then the flower, the tree was so abundant.
Yeah.
But
that's what I prefer now.
Like even I remember the first time I heard it, Joe Rogan was breaking it down. Because I used to be before the pandemic, I was all about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, me too. Because I was listening to podcasts all day, every day.
Yeah, so he was just something to have on. And he was having on physicists like Sean Carroll and Brian Greene and Brian Cox, like these fucking brainiacs breaking down dark matter and all that type of shit. And I like to hear those 3-hour-long conversations where they're not interrupted.
Right.
Joe's just getting high going, whatever. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Right? I'm right there with you, Joe. I'm listening to these guys like, how the fuck? Right? So I used to like all that shit. Why'd I bring up Joe Rogan?
I don't know. Have you done any other drugs?
So I really, really enjoy the power and the magic of mushrooms. I really, really enjoy LSD. But these are things these are wizard things that you do once a year, maybe?
Right.
Once every 5 years or something like that, right? Marijuana, I do every waking goddamn moment of the day. And in all forms. I like to that's what I wanted to say. Joe Rogan was the first person that broke it down to me. When you eat
11-hydroxymetabolite.
There you go. Eating it is completely and totally different than smoking it. So thank you for bringing me back.
Sure.
You got into it drinking and the pen, and then eventually all of it, fuck it.
Right, yeah.
But at first it started out, I hate work so much.
Yeah.
This helps me.
Yeah, I don't know how, like
That's that joint that you and Barry worked at?
Yes.
With that fuck face?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they just got another 1-star.
Yes.
Yo. Right. So I enjoy marijuana, mushrooms, and LSD, and that is it.
If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in the East Bay, if you're in Contra Costa County and you need an orthodontist, ask me who you should go to.
Don't ask me. Look at my teeth.
That's all I have to say. Ask me who you should go to and who you should avoid.
Yeah. I have done Molly. I have done pure MDMA. I have done cocaine. It's drugs.
Okay.
It's drugs and you know you're on drugs. Like LSD feels like mind-opening. Mushrooms seems organic, old ancient medicine, like an old Native American gave you that shit, right? Weed feels like earth magic, right? When I do Molly, this is drugs. This was created in a lab.
Oh, by drugs you mean this is chemical.
Right.
This is not.
Right. And even though cocaine is like from a plant and all of that, no, when you do cocaine, it tastes like gasoline.
Yeah.
Gasolina. That's that song, right? And your teeth get numb. This is it's like Novocaine. What the fuck is happening?
Right.
And then the bones in your nose get numb. And it just starts to, what the fuck? You start grinding your teeth and shit. Trip. You can feel the physical feel of cocaine.
He hasn't seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Dude.
Like I might have. I just don't remember the drawing. Very video game-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen it maybe.
Puckman.
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, you will.
When you say Puckman, that makes me think of Mega Man. And I think it's very similar to Mega Man-ish. I remember there was like Scott
Truck.
Pilgrim on the Game Boy, wasn't there?
Was there? Was there a Scott Pilgrim video
I
game?
don't
There is
know.
I don't know what it was on.
But it looks retro, and I don't know, whatever.
The whole thing is retro, yeah.
Look at my beard, dude. I'm old as fuck. All I know is that Micronauts came out before small G.I. Joe figures. But not before the big G.I. Joe dolls. That's it.
All right.
That's all I know.
Drugs, kids. Don't
Okay,
do them.
I would say that I love drugs. When we first started this show, right before we started recording,
Yeah.
before I busted out my gift that I got, the purple unicorn crystals that we evaporated, I gave you some ibuprofen over-the-counter drugs.
Drugs, chemicals.
Just drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs, the whole thing.
True.
Awesome. I love drugs. That's it. That's perfect.
Was this pro drugs or anti drugs?
Oh, this is pro drugs.
Pro drugs? Mm-hmm. I guess we're pro drugs, kids.
And let me tell you why pro drugs.
You got to be 18 to watch these videos.
And this is also funny too, because like you were like, "Hi, Mom," when you said the LSD.
Yeah.
Like you're 50 years old.
Yeah.
You are successful American.
Am I, though?
Adult. You're married still,
I am still married.
right? Your kids are successful and great and nice to have conversations with, right? One's gonna make robots, the other one makes art and music, right? You have all your gigs lined up. You got dope Adidas on. You got Reservoir Dog socks on.
Uh-huh.
Right? Kicking it in BINDU Studios as we get high and shit, as we make, like, dude, we're living the fucking dream. Is this anti-drugs? Get the fuck out of here.
No, this
This is
is
pro-drugs. Fuck yeah. Yay, drugs.
You could turn it off now, I guess.